What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll be going over a Town Hall 13 pushing strategy for all you Town Hall 13s out there, and that is the DragClone attack strategy. Extremely powerful. In this video, I'm going to break down how to use it and what to look for when you're attacking with the DragClone up in Legend League. Let's go ahead and look at the army composition before we jump into any replays. You can see here we got 6 loons, 12 dragons, a baby dragon, a rage, 3 freezes, 2 clone spells, and then in your clan castle, you're going to want the max E dragon, max loons, a rage, and then the battle blimp. So like I said, DragClone is an extremely powerful strategy. It doesn't take really that much effort at all to use. I find myself, as soon as I place down my troops and use my spells, you know, I'm at a point where I can put my phone down and focus on other things while the attack plays out. Especially since the heroes, their abilities get automatically activated after their hit points hit a certain threshold. You can really cruise with this attack strategy after a certain point. We're going to jump into a few examples now, and the first 2 examples is going to be taking down a ring base, and then the second example is going to be taking down an anti-3 base, and then I'm going to be going through a couple of fails of what to look for and what to notice about certain bases and what I kept running into against certain bases and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and jump into the first replay for DragClone. Alright guys, first example we got here, we got a ring style base, and what you really want to focus on with the DragClone attack strategy is pathing. You're going to use the blimp to set up one side of the funnel, and then you're going to use your heroes to set up the other side. Usually you like to use the blimp on the Eagle Artillery, but as you'll notice with this base, the sweeper, so I always look at the sweepers before I attack. The sweeper is pointing right at the Eagle Artillery, so anything that gets dropped onto the Eagle Artillery is going to be pushed away from it. So I'm not saying that I couldn't get it, it just might have ruined the pathing. So I'm going to go ahead and play it here. And I'm going to show you that instead of coming from, straight from the Eagle side, the blimp's going to come from like the left side of the Eagle where the sweeper is, along with the Inferno Tower and the air defense. So blimp's coming in, and it's going to take a lot of damage pretty quickly. And then there goes the clone spells, rage them up, E-drags, all the clone loons, tons of damage, and completely clear that left side. All right, another thing you want to notice is the clan castle. The clan castle is all the way down here. You kind of want to keep your heroes away from the clan castle as long as possible, so that way they don't pull out any ground troops or like hounds or anything, and it makes it easier for your dragons to get through the base. But at this point, it's really easy what you do. You see I got a baby dragon on the left side, I got my heroes on the right side, and then I got a couple dragons on the left side as well. I am just narrowing down the funnel with my heroes on the right and those dragons on the left, and they're all going to converge onto the middle, and they're going to go straight through the base, straight through the town hall, and end up getting that 3-star. All you have is those 3 freezes and the 1 rage spell. You have the warden ability, and then you just use them when you need to, and you'll end up getting the 3-star. The Barbarian King and Archer Queen, you don't really need to worry about them. Like I said, because of the auto ability now, most of the times I just let them run down their HP all the way down to like 10, and then the ability gets activated. So the heroes are kind of on like auto mode. I don't really have to worry about them at all. The only thing I'm worried about is using those free spells on any air sweepers that might be pushing my troops. Air defenses, Inferno Towers, the scatter shots. Scatter shots are a really big thing, and they definitely cause trouble for a lot of attacks. So if you have scatter shots with an Inferno Tower raining down on your dragons, make sure to like freeze it up, give your dragon some chance to get in there, do some damage, and all that good stuff. But we're pretty much wrapping up the base here pretty easily. As soon as you made the pathing and the dragons surge through the base, as long as you use the warden ability right on top of the town hall, the dragons pretty much smash through the base pretty easily. And again, it's not a very difficult strategy to do. As soon as you get the hang of the clone drops and creating the pathing, you're going to be getting the 3 stars that you want. Again, it comes down to a luck with a lot of the attacks. Unfortunately, it's not the most skilled attack out there, so there is a little bit of luck involved, but it is a really strong strategy. Alright guys, second example we got here. Again, the first thing you're going to want to notice is the direction of the air sweepers and the location of the Eagle Artillery. So air sweepers are pointing down towards the bottom side and over to the right side. Eagle's in the middle of the base, and it's not being protected by the sweeper, so we can basically charge right in towards the Eagle and take it down with our blimp. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to go ahead and play it. And once the Eagle and the blimp explodes and all that, you just look at the pathing that the blimp creates and the E-drag creates, and then you just use it to your advantage. Here comes the blimp. As you want to place it, in a direction where it's going to go over top of the Eagle. The blimps directly target the town hall, so just remember that. And there you go. So clones come down, rage goes down again, Eagle goes down. Any air CC that was in the clan castle has come out and been destroyed already, and the Eagle has created a pretty good pathing right there. As you can see, I got 1 baby dragon on the right side and the heroes on the left. You can see the pathing from these elixir storages all the way through the base and towards the town hall. You want the pathing to be towards the town hall. You don't want it to be like over here with the Inferno Towers or anything like that. You don't want it to be down towards these areas. You want it to be always towards the town hall, because if you don't get the 3-star, you always want to save the 2-star, at least for pushing. You know, those 80%, those 90% 2-stars definitely come in handy, especially when your defense is doing well and you want to compensate it with some good offense. But as you can see there, raging, I got a freeze on the air defense, the town hall, and lots of good value there. Drags are raged up, and as soon as they're making contact with the town hall, they take it down pretty easily, and the warden ability protects all of them going into the town hall and as they bounce out. As you can see here, it's a pretty powerful strategy. I mean, at this point, I don't really need to watch this strategy anymore. The queen has her ability, but again, if she goes down to like 10 HP, she automatically uses it, so I don't really have to watch the strategy too much. The only thing that I'm watching for is placement of the remaining free spells, and once I use the remaining free spells, I no longer have control of the attack, and I'm just hoping that the dragons are tanky enough and I have enough power to get through the remainder of the base here. As you can see here, lots of dragons left over. That last scatter shot is going down. Scatter shots do make a huge difference. If you can get one with the blimp, or if you can go towards a scatter shot as you make your way towards the town hall, that's always a big help. In the next few replays, there are going to be a couple fails I'm going to go over. Some things you want to notice. There's some, you know, really popular bases I want to cover because I kept running into a trap with them, and I want to make sure that the guys that are pushing with it don't run into the exact same trap that I was running into. And then just a couple other things with the clone placement. When I was first starting out using the strategy, sometimes I would miss the clone placement. I would place it in front of the blimp and it would get pushed back by a sweeper, or none of the troops would make contact with the clone spell. And there's a way that I've been doing it now that my troops always get cloned, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that in the next few replays. But there you go, guys. Another easy 3-star with the DragClone attack strategy. Extremely powerful as long as you set up the pathing. Alright guys, so let's talk about the clone placement for the DragClone spell real quickly before we end the video here. It's very important that you place your clones effectively, or else, well, one, if you don't get the clone spell done and your troops don't get cloned, it will be very difficult to get the 3-star, and it may be difficult to even get the 2-star, especially if you don't get the value that you needed from the troops in the blimp. Let's go ahead and play it here, and we're going to slow it down to half speed. And I'm going to place my blimp down towards this eagle, which is in the range of an air sweeper. So I know I'm fighting an air sweeper, so what I have to do here is I'm going to use one clone spell to clone the troops in the blimp, and I'm going to use a second clone spell in order to reach out and take down this air defense. So you can clone already cloned troops. So watch what happens here. First clone comes down, second clone is a little bit, it's kind of connecting to the first one, and it's reaching out to this air defense. Look at that. The cloned loons were cloned from the other clone loons and was able to reach out and snipe off that air defense. So that's one way to do it. You know, as soon as the blimp hit that air sweeper, it got pushed back. Of course, the loons surged forward because they were going towards the eagle, and then the clone spells basically cloned each other in order to reach out and kill that air defense. Now I'm able to finish the rest of the attack, use the pathing that this E-Drag and the loons gave me, and it's a really good attack. Let's look at another example here. So we're gonna go ahead and play this one too. So again, in this one, I'm not gonna be placing the clone spells in more of like a reach pattern. It's gonna be horizontal, right next to each other, because when the blimp explodes, look where the air sweepers are pointing. All right, I don't have to worry about any pushbacks. I'm coming from this backside right here, and as soon as the blimp goes down, I place the clone spells right next to each other, so the loons attempt to go towards the eagle. Again, the eagle is always the biggest target for the, you know, the troops coming out of the CC. I don't end up getting it. That's what you really want to focus on with the clone spell placement, is worrying about taking down the eagle and using your clone spells to where you can reach other stuff after you've already started cloning stuff. Because again, the clone loons that come out can be cloned again in order to reach farther distances and stuff like that. It's a little tip that you guys might want to try out, and it's something that I discovered when I was using this strategy and I was not getting the 3-star, or I kept missing the clone spell, is because sometimes we get pushed back, so I have to place it horizontally in a line or vertically in a line. Okay guys, last tip I'm going to go over here is, I'm sure you guys that are up in Legend League have seen this base. I see this base all the time, and if you're going to use a strategy to push, one thing you want to notice about this base is the eagle, because again, the eagle is the main objective. But again, the air sweeper is pointing right towards the eagle, and then there's also a tornado trap right in front of the eagle. This base always has it. I've literally attacked this base like 20 times, and the tornado trap is always right in front of the eagle. So we're going to go ahead and play it here. This is actually a fail on my part, because when the blimp comes down and I try to take down the eagle, the tornado trap spins all the loons and kills them. I get 0 value, like very minuscule value. I couldn't get the pathing down. You see, there goes the clone, there goes the rage. Look at that, all the loons are stuck in the tornado trap and they all go down. Double multi on top of them, scatter shot, I get nothing. CC troops come out, I get nothing. E-Drag doesn't really get that much value. and I am unable to get the 3-star. I actually get a 1-star. I'm going 4 times it here. I get a 1-star on this base because I could not set the pathing to surge through the middle and try to get the town hall. There was no way for me to control it because the pathing on that side wasn't set up properly. Of course, the eagle's still firing, which is not a big deal. I mean, the eagle's still up, it's not a big deal, but the pathing is the most important thing. You know, I tried to get them to go towards the middle. As you can see there, I was already frustrated, couldn't get the 3-star, and ended up getting a 1-star. So now every time I go against this base, I avoid going straight at the eagle, for one, because I don't want to hit the tornado trap and lose all my loons, and then second is because I want to get value with my blimp. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys another example here. Here's the exact same base, basically from the one we just attacked. Look, eagle's in the same spot, sweeper is pointing in the exact same direction, and it doesn't matter if it's not on this side. The eagle is on this side and the sweeper's pointing towards it. It's the same thing. That tornado trap is always in front of it, but you can see I'm coming from a corner and I'm going towards the sweeper this time. Okay, the sweeper's there, the scatter shot's there. I mean, there's some decent value there, so I'm gonna go towards that instead. I'm gonna set up my pathing, and I'm going to look for this, at least a better 2-star or a 3-star with this base. Look at this. Look how much more value was created with this attack strategy because I came from a corner instead of coming straight at the eagle. Never come straight towards the eagle like on this base because it just, there's always a tornado trap there and it always ends up messing up. You can see there, I'm setting up my pathing now, baby dragon on the left side. I got my heroes coming down towards the right side. They're going to clear this area right here, and the dragons are going to surge in right through the middle. Okay, I'm going to speed through it here. I ended up only getting a 91%, I believe, 91% 2-star. Did not end up getting 3-star, but it's always a lot better getting a 2-star 90% than a 1-star 60%. Definitely would take the 90% over the 60% any day. But that's pretty much how you avoid those bases, those traps, if you're going to use this strategy. I just kept running into it. I'm going to show you one more base here that I actually ran into problems with, and how to deal with it. All right guys, last tip, I'm going to go over here with the DragClone attack strategy. Another popular type base that I always see, either it looks like this or it's flipped, so where this Inferno Tower by itself is down here and then the Town Hall's up here and it's just all flipped up. But this is the first fail, this is the first attack I tried with it, and again, look how entrenched the eagle is. It's very dangerous to go all the way into the base, and that's what I tried to do. I mean, there's no real protection up here, so the blimp got in pretty easily. However, once the blimp made it to the middle, I cloned everything and I raised everything. You'll see that I get, again, 0 value. Sweepers are hitting me, multis, there's 4 air defenses right there. Gone. Absolutely destroyed. I'm going to go ahead and 4 times it. This was another 1-star because, again, I'm trying to set up the pathing here, right? I'm like, okay, let me just, let me shred down the right side. Let me try to shred down the left side. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I got unlucky. I got a dragon coming in. I was going to use this builder hut to get into the middle. Nope, he destroys it. So I was getting very unlucky with this base, and I decided next time I go against this base, I'll just place it on the top here and attack from the top. I'll leave the eagle alone. I'll get it later, and I'll try for a better 2-star instead of pushing for that 3-star and attacking the eagle directly. As you can see there, look at that. I ended up getting a 1-star because, you know, the blimp went way too far in. No value that came out of the blimp. Let's see how I handle it in this one. So again, it's a similar style looking base. So instead, I'm going to drop my blimp on the top side, and I'm not going to use a rage this time. I just use 2 clones because there's not a lot of, you know, value up here. There's no air defenses that are close. I mean, they're kind of close, but, you know, I didn't really need to use a rage because they could have cleared that area, as you can see, by themselves without the use of the rage. So I saved the rage for my, you know, main dragons and the main push so I can get through the base. I still only got like a 67% 2-star, but a 67% 2-star is still better than any 1-star percentage. So that's another thing you're going to want to keep in mind as you're attacking this base. I haven't tried from the bottom side yet. The bottom side is just a huge trap. There's going to be tons of air bombs, Teslas, and lots of things. I don't think the blimp would actually survive from the bottom side. That's why I've never attacked from the bottom side. The top side is always the weakest because all the defenses are on the bottom side, all the traps are on the bottom side, and as you can see there, another 2-star, 67%. But the DragClone attack strategy is extremely powerful. It pushed me up to almost 5,600. I believe I broke it yesterday. Let's go ahead and look here. Oh, my profile, 57, yeah. I was at 5614 yesterday, and I'm pretty confident in my ability to actually get to top 200 in the United States with this strategy. I mean, it's a very powerful strategy. Again, it does not take a lot of strength or skill or anything like that. You just punch in, you just use your DragClone, rage around, create the pathing, smash it in, and then you just set your phone aside and let it do what it's got to do. I mean, that's what I do with the strategy, and it works pretty well for me. It's also a decent war strategy if you guys want to try it out. It's great against ring bases, and it's good against anti-3s if the sweepers are not protecting the eagle. But for the most part, I just use it mostly for pushing. So if you guys need a pushing strategy out there, definitely recommend the DragClone strategy. And just be aware of those ring bases with those traps. Be aware of that like trap style base. I don't know what to call it, but it's very common. I see it all the time. Don't push your blimp all the way to the middle of the base. It will end up dying. But that's all I really have for the video here, guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And hopefully the DragClone strategy works for you guys. But that's all I have, guys. If it helped, definitely appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.